Hey everyone! Alright, today's video is going to be about adding fractions, and in this video we are going to talk about adding with positive and negative fractions. So your objective, I will be able to add positive and negative fractions and apply the process to real life. Alright, so let's review. Whenever we add fractions, we have to have a common denominator. If there is not a common denominator, we must find the least common multiple between those two denominators. Once we have our common denominator, we want to make sure we change the numerators, and then we can perform the operation. Again, keep in mind we are only adding the numerators. Alright, so let's review our integer rules. If we are adding two positives, we add like normal, and the answer is positive. If we are adding two negatives, then we add like normal, and the answer is negative. Think about the bad guys example that I gave in class. Bad guys plus bad guys just equals the total amount of bad guys. Adding different signs, okay? If you have heard me talk about this in class, I say that's like good guys versus bad guys. So you have to decide which side has more, and then you have to figure out how many more they have. So for example here, we have 3 plus a negative 7. So if positives are good guys and negatives are bad guys, in this particular example, we would see that the bad guys are going to win, and they're going to win because they have 4 more. Alright, so when we're working with fractions, if we have mixed numbers, we want to make them improper. We're going to find the common denominator, rewrite those fractions with equivalent fractions, then we're going to only solve the numerator, and then simplify if we need to. Alright, example 1, we have negative 1/4 plus negative 1/4. Now, we already have common denominators, so we don't have to actually change anything here. So, I know that in the answer, the denominator will be 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on what's in the numerator. I have a negative 1 plus a negative 1. So I have got a negative plus a negative. Alright, so that means I'm just going to combine the negatives and see how many total negatives we have. So negative 1 plus negative 1 would be negative 2. Now I get asked this a lot. Does it matter where the negative symbol goes? If you write it next to the 2, or if you write it out to the side, it means the same thing. Alright, negative 2 over 4, we can reduce that. We can divide the numerator and denominator by 2, and we get negative 1/2. Alright, example 2, we have 3/5 plus negative 1/10. So I'm going to go ahead and write that we have a positive plus a negative. Now, we do not have common denominators. We have a 5 here and a 10 here. So the smallest multiple of 5 and 10 would be 10. So I know I'm going to have a positive fraction over 10 plus a negative fraction over 10. Alright, since this fraction already has a denominator of 10, I don't have to change anything here. Sorry about that. So I don't have to change this fraction since it already has the denominator of 10. Now over here, I'm changing this one. So to get from 5 to 10, we multiply by 2. So I want to do the same thing to the numerator, and 3 times 2 is 6. Alright, again, I have a positive plus a negative, but we know that we're only going to perform the operation on the numerator. So the denominator stays the same. Now I have 6 plus a negative 1. That's like 6 good guys versus 1 bad guy. And we know that the good guys are going to win because they have 5 more. 5 over 10 reduces to 1/2. Alright, example 3, we have negative 1 1/3 plus 2 1/9. So we have a negative plus a positive. So we know we are going to have a battle in the end. Alright, we have mixed numbers, first of all. And we want to change those to improper fractions before we do anything else. So we're going to take the denominator times that whole number. So 3 times the negative 1 would be a negative 3. And then times 1 again would still just be a negative 3. If the symbol is confusing you, or if the sign is confusing you, all you have to do is just put a negative, and you know that you're going to have a negative fraction. We're not changing any signs, we're just making this improper. So 3 times 1 is 3, times 1 is 3. Oh, hang on. Oh my goodness, I messed up. Plus 1. Sorry. We add the numerator. All right, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And then we know we're going to have an addition sign, and we're going to have a positive improper fraction here. All right, so 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, and denominator stays the same. All right, now we do not have common denominators, so the least common multiple between 3 and 9 would be 9. Now 19 over 9 doesn't have to be changed because it already has a denominator of 9. But I do want to change this. And again, this is a negative fraction, so I want to make sure that my equivalent fraction is also negative. All right, we want this to be a 9. So to get from 3 to 9, we multiply by 3. So we want to do the exact same thing in the numerator. And 4 times 3 is 12. Now we can solve this. So the denominator stays the same. So I'm going to have a 9. And I'm only concerned about what's in the numerator. So I have a negative 12 plus 19. That's like 12 bad guys versus 19 good guys. And the good guys are going to win because they have 7 more. Alright, now it is time for you to try. So I want you to solve negative 3/4 plus negative 4/5. Alright, don't forget to use your steps and use your integer rules. Make sure you have everything written down, and I will see you next class day.